Hi YouTube. I know it's been a long time since I've posted anything, and I'm sorry for that. I've been just busy with life, as you know. But anyway, I'm sorry for the bad lighting. I'm currently in my guest room under my loft bed at my desk, getting ready to go to bed because it's late. I kind of stayed up a little bit later than I should have, like anyone else would do that's probably my age. Just kind of going over stuff from the past that I shouldn't have. I've got these journals that I've filled up for the last 3 or 4 years or so, and I just reread some and kind of just relived some painful things that in my past that I probably shouldn't have. And I at the same time I have pride because it shows how much I've grown and changed over the past years. Especially since starting those journals, and just things that I've gone through with my family and with myself, and things that have been tested and all of that good stuff. And lately, like I said and have said probably in past videos, my job has been the worst job I've had in a while since the first one I got out of college. And I'm finally happy to say that that's going to be coming to an end. On Friday, I put in my notice, and my last day is going to be April 1st. And after that, I transition to something else. And I'm not going to disclose on here where, because I don't want people finding me. And if there's people that know me and watch my channel, again, I don't need them knowing exactly where. But what I'm going to be doing is completely different from what I've been doing. Since college, I've been doing things in quality engineering, and this job in particular is completely different. I'm going to be learning equipment that this company sells, and I'm going to train salespeople on the equipment, and giving them insight so that they're able to sell the equipment. So that's going to be a big transition and a big change. It's new stuff I've never really been exposed to before, aside from interacting with it briefly at my job I currently have. So, I don't know, I'm a little excited but nervous at the same time. Like, of course, I've got the jitters that everybody usually goes through with starting a new job. You worry, okay, are you going to like it? Are you going to be successful? Are you going to mesh well with people that you're working with? And I'm really hoping that I do. It's going to be a big change because where I work now, we currently wear uniforms, and I'm going to have to make sure I'm more mindful of how I look when I go and what I wear. It's going to have to be more professional because, of course, it's not going to be in a uniform anymore. It's going to be a what am I going to look today kind of decision, and it has to be professional and business, and can't be my casual stuff that I usually like to wear. So that's going to be a big change, and I'm going to have to make sure when I transition from my current role to my new role, I get all of that lined out appropriately so that I am as successful as possible. Because trust me, the last thing you ever want to get called out on at a job is what you wear, because honestly, that's the easiest thing for someone to fix or keep on a consistent basis. So I want to make sure that that stays appropriate and correct from day one, to be honest, because I already have enough challenges as it's going to be learning everything and getting to know everybody and making sure I can appropriately teach materials to these salespeople. So anyway, I know I'm going on and it's a lot of information at once. I just thought I'd catch you guys up real quick on things. Yeah, so it's currently late and I know I need to be in bed, and I was going to do my normal night routine, which involved, taking a shower and getting ready to go to bed, but I'm going to have to move some of that to morning because it's late, and of course I let myself get carried away in my old journals. And I don't, like I said, recommend doing that. I mean, I have mixed feelings, like I said, about reading some things because it has shown me how much I've grown, but at the same time, it's had me relive some things I didn't really want to relive as far as my past goes, and dealing with things with my dad and going through therapy, and which I still do today, but it's a different type of therapy. It's more of a Christian-based therapy, and not really a trauma recovery therapy like it was. But yeah, just going back and looking at that and looking at some old relationships that I was in and past mistakes that I made. It's like, if I were able to go back in time, I would totally do things differently than I did. And honestly, I wouldn't have probably allowed certain people in my life that I did allow. And I wouldn't have let things go as long as I did with some of my past relationships, because I do believe I let some people stay in my life longer than they should have, and I let them come back in my life when I shouldn't have, and I allowed that attachment to grow itself back after it had left. It was like re-injuring yourself, after just healing. And let me tell you how dangerous that is. It's very dangerous to play with fire when it comes to attachment towards people. Looking back on this particular relationship that I read about in my journal, things would have been a lot easier if I didn't let it go on in secret for an additional 2 years on top of the 2 years it went on prior. And it was painful to end that relationship, let me tell you, because, there was an attachment there and a bond there. And I'm sure you guys can relate when you go through things like that. Someone's not good for you, yet you have to try to cut the tie, and it's hard to, especially if they struggle just as much as you do with it, and then sometime later they come back at you and try to grovel you back in. And that's kind of what happened to me. Of course, not now, of course. So, like, if the person I'm with right now is watching, please don't panic. This has nothing to do with you. But anyway, it's just, if I could go back in time, I would have stood my ground and stayed away from this person. And, my heart breaks for me and my past me that I didn't have the strength and courage to do that. Because at the time, I kind of feel emotional about this, but at the time that this person tried to come back, I was on my way to healing and being my own person. And, at that time, I had not really taken things too far with anyone yet. And I was still a blank canvas, kind of. I mean, I did some intimate things with this person, but I, didn't take things all the way, if that makes sense. So, the bond was there, but it wasn't there to a deep point like it could have been. And I kind of wish they would have stayed away and didn't try to grovel me back. But because they did, it became like a secret relationship for 2 years. And it got me into trouble with the current relationship I had at the time. And I really hurt that other person. And, it also hurt me that I hurt them. And I still kind of think about it to this day, because of course that person is miraculously still back in my life, the one that I hurt. But, I still think about it and I worry about it and I beat myself up about it, because it's like, how could I do something like that to somebody when myself, I would not want that done to me, and it hurt that I let things go on in secret like I did. And it just, reading those old journal entries reminded me of it, because it's like, that's kind of what I went through. And then, of course, in between all of this happening, I had been dabbling on online dating and doing all of the stuff that just didn't bring me success personally. I'm sure it brought some people success that have tried it, but for me it didn't. And I ended up meeting someone and making the dumbest decisions with this person. And I attribute the decisions I made following that person to the stupid decisions I made to begin with that I never learned from. And it's like, since I'm a Christian personally, it's like God had me learn things the hard way. And I feel like sometimes I still do have to learn things the hard way. And I'm still struggling with that, And, I'm still kind of struggling with my thoughts. And I know a lot of people struggle with their thoughts too, My thoughts sometimes don't go where I want them to. And it's not bad. Like, they're not bad thoughts. They're not like, oh, harm yourself or do something bad to yourself kind of thoughts. It's just thoughts that I shouldn't be having. Like, it's hard for me to explain. Like, I don't really want to go into too much personal detail on here. But it's just like my thoughts are kind of scattered and they go to things and experiences that I shouldn't be thinking about. It's just a struggle that I have, and I know some of you guys out there probably struggle with the same type of thing. But anyway, this is, again, probably a long update video, and it shouldn't be, but I just thought I'd come on here and, update you guys. So I don't really plan on making anything out of this channel. If it comes up, something great. If not, I don't really care. I mean, I'm doing well for myself, so I don't really need income from YouTube. But, yeah, so anyway, I just thought I'd update you guys on where I've been and what I've been doing. So I'm in the midst of starting yet another job. My hopes are to start by April 11th. I'm taking a week off in between both jobs so that I can transition. I'm really hoping to hear from the HR department at this current position before April 11th, so I know what to expect, who to ask for. When I go in, I think what I'll do is I have a phone number to call, so if the date gets closer and I haven't heard anything from anybody, I'll just call this person and be like, okay, are we going to confirm that date? Is it good that I start that day? And, who am I supposed to be asking for when I get in, because the more I can eliminate as far as unknowns, the better, because I know myself well enough to know that I'm a very anxious person, and I would really hate to be more anxious than I need to be on my first day, than I already will be, I guess I should say. So be thinking about me. If you pray, please pray for me. I will update you guys as soon as I can, with this, and I might be able to do one video before I start over my week off. I'm not really sure yet. But anyway, I just thought I'd get on here and chat with you guys. So, and if you're curious as to like what YouTubers I do watch, in case, we might have mutual interests, I like to watch Mariah Elizabeth, Dan Bell, and Rick Serra. So I've been tuning in to Dan's Saturday Night Lives, and I absolutely love those. They are the highlight of my weekend, and they help make things not so hard to deal with because I've got that to look forward to every weekend. And then, of course, I watch Rick, Cocktail Hour with Rick. I love watching Rick. He's awesome. I did tune in to his live that he went on last night after Dan did, and I stayed up way too late for my own good, but I enjoyed that. So before I end up staying up way later than I need to now, because it's almost midnight, I probably should sign off here. I'll keep you guys posted, and I'm hoping maybe to do some fun things on here at some point when I finally get things to calm down. I'm hoping that this new opportunity that I'm about to embark on gives me more of a work-life balance so that I do have weekends free to do stuff like this and spend more time with those that I need to be spending with, and not have to cancel my church plans and serve more than I have been, because the last 6 or 7 weeks I've had to tell my church no because they've mandated me at my current job. And also, before I sign off, it's needless to say I'm being treated even more like trash now that I've told them that I'm leaving. And I don't think they're going to replace me with anybody, honestly, because given what they've given me to do, I've been basically a quality secretary in my opinion, and I've only been doing stuff that nobody else wants to do, and if I ask for help, I'm punished for it, and there's just a lot of reasons why I'm getting out of there. And I will disclose that it is automotive, so the thing about automotive is it's a very hard industry to be in, because there is no work-life balance regardless of where you go that is automotive affiliated, because if there's a crisis, or if there's an uptick in orders, or the customer's demanding a lot out of you, then people will get used and abused. And it doesn't matter what company you go to that is automotive. It's like that everywhere. So the place I'm going to is not going to have all their market in that. I mean, some of it they market to automotive, but that's not their main market, and they have different markets and different things. So that's what helps me, you know, and allows me to have a good work-life balance. So I'm very excited but nervous at the same time. And like I said, I'm hoping to find out details before my start date. I'm hoping someone will call me so I don't have to, but I will call if I hear nothing and it gets closer, just so that I know that it's good to start that day and show up, and I know who to ask for. But anyway, I'm rambling on and on. I hope you guys have a good night, and I hope to keep you posted and post more videos soon. I just thought I'd get on here because my last video was 5 months ago, so things have changed since then. So anyway, if you guys could be thinking and praying for me, and hopefully I will talk to you again soon. Bye.